Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to another day of Scraptember. Today's prompt is layering, and I am going to layer a ton of paper behind my photos. Okay, maybe it's not a whole ton, but it is a lot. I revisited my Chamel stash of paper. I have been hoarding, and I decided that these were the perfect photos for this paper, and so I went ahead and pulled it out and decided to go ahead and use it. And I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. I love that wood grain paper, and I love the leafy background there. And so I thought I will go ahead and back these photos with the leafy background. And then I pulled a bunch of other greens out of my scrap bin, and I'm going to layer those up behind these photos to just create almost a monochromatic, well, it is monochromatic layering behind the photos, but my layout is not going to be monochromatic. I mean, it's already not monochromatic with the brown and the green, but I am going to add a bunch of other color to it when I get to the embellishment portion of the video. But for now, I am just going to go ahead and keep layering up these greens. And as you can see here, I've got kind of this more like an olive green and now a lime green. And I think the key is to just have them be very different and only little bits of them showing. You don't want lots of bits of them showing, so the layers are really narrow. And this works really well, especially since they are scraps and they don't go completely around the entire outside of the photos, which is actually good because I don't have any room horizontally for most of this paper. I just have room vertically at this point because I've got 4 photos on there. My photos are slightly smaller than 3x4s. They are printed on my selfie camera or my selfie printer. So I do have, and they are printed with a border, so they are a little bit smaller. But that does give me room to have a little bit of the edges showing of the layers on the right and left hand sides. But now I'm just going to start building my layers top to bottom. And again, I'm pulling in another green, which has kind of that darker green, but it also has a green that is a little bit of a blue base to it. It's not exactly aqua, but it definitely has a little bit of a blue look to it. And so I'm trying to choose colors that or shades of green that contrast in my layers so that you can definitely tell that there's layers. And I'm really liking the way that it's looking. I am also inking everything with black ink just to give even more definition to those layers. And it, you know, it's totally up to you, but I also sometimes will repeat my patterns, and that works also. Pulling off the third from the left hand side photo, and I am going to create a stack of layers behind that photo as well, kind of doing the exact same thing just to give that one a little bit of extra pizzazz or focus in my layout. She looks really cute in this. I apologize that you don't get to see her face. Her face is covered for privacy purposes. She's not my child, and I know her parents prefer that her face not be on social media. But she is looking super cute in these photos. She's about 2 years old, and she's just being really cute. And so I definitely wanted to document that. And this is going in a little album for her. So I am again alternating the light color, the light shades of green with the dark shades of green so that you get a lot of contrast between the layers and you can see them very well. I'm liking the way that this is looking. I am going to add, I believe, one more layer of this bright green, almost to the yellow side, but because the photos have so much greenery in them, at least the 2 in the center, and there's all different shades of green, I think it works really well. I did decide to switch out the photos. I don't know, she just looks super cute in all of them, but I thought this one was a better one to draw attention to because it's more close up. The other one, she's further away in the camera or in the photo, and so it's a little harder to see her. So this one just kind of amps up this photo and calls attention to it a little bit more. It is actually the best photo in the series of photos, and so that worked really well. I pulled out this Paige Evans paper. I think this is from Bungalow Lane, but I could not be certain. I think that's what it's called. Anyway, I really liked those words on the back of that card, so I end up cutting those out. First, I thought I would put the two tags back to back because they're both green, and then my card would be green on either side. But because I wanted to use those words, I decided to go with a craft colored one, which works well because I've got brown in the background anyway, and that way it keeps the top green and the back the craft color. I'm not crazy about that pink reinforcer that is printed on that back of that tag, so I am going to actually use the top of the green tag that has all the words on it on the back. I am trying to create a pocket behind my photos, and because I had to cut that last piece of paper in half to span the distance, it makes it hard to slide my tag in because it keeps getting hung up on the bottom strip of paper. So I'm just creating a nice surface for it to slide again, and I'm just using some scrap white paper to do that. And in order to do that, your paper that is at the top of the pocket needs to overlap the one at the bottom. If you do it the reverse way, you will still have a seam that your tag will get caught on. And now it moves nice and slowly, no, not slowly, smoothly right into that pocket, and I'm really liking the way that it looks. I'm just trying to get everything kind of even or straight across on the page. This paper doesn't really have a whole lot of reference points for if you're straight top to bottom. If you're using something like a grid or something that's geometric, it's a lot easier to tell. So pulling out my T-square ruler really helps. So here is where I decide I am going to add those words, and so I'm going to cut those out just freehand. I don't think I do the most perfect job of making my lines straight in this particular case, but they're straight enough, and I am going to ink them with some black ink as well. And then you can see I have reserved the top of that tag just to the right of where I'm cutting, and that is going to be stuck to the back of the tag that is already in the pocket. So I thought these were really appropriate words. The photos were on the log were taken at an outdoor music class during COVID, and so it was a bit of a little adventure. We took a walk over to the park. It's not very far from her house, and so I thought those words were perfect. I am going to change up the order of them a little bit so that they read more fluidly. Fluidly. That's the word I'm gonna use. They make sense a little bit better. So, and there is the top of the tag all fixed, and I like the way that that's looking, so that makes me happy. Smiles, memories, happy, adventures, beautiful, just sound like random words. So I'm going to change them around so it says beautiful memories, happy adventures, which sounds more like a sentence. And then that acrylic piece is from Color Cast Designs. I'm going to add that down below to just finish it off. So it'll say beautiful memories, happy adventures around here. And I really like that. I mean, I could have had it say happy memories, beautiful adventures, but I liked the difference in the size of the words, having a smaller one kind of down towards the bottom. And I thought happy adventures sounded better than beautiful adventures, just for this particular layout. And then I am going to take the backer off of the acrylic piece, so it does have a bit of translucency, which makes it not quite as vibrant as it was when it was first put on the paper. And I don't really mind that. It looks fine in real life. It just doesn't show up as vibrantly on camera. And then I am using glue dots or actually Zot's Bling, to adhere the entire thing down. And you kind of have to figure out where you're going to put them, because some of the letters are a little bit narrow, and so I try to pick where letters connect, and that gives you a little bit more surface space. And then I'm going to add some flowers to this, because this is she's out in nature, and I thought that would work really well. These are some clear stickers, again from Paige Evans, and I think these are also from Bungalow Lane, but I could be wrong on that. They could be from the one after that. I'm not really sure. And I just decided to put them onto some white paper and fussy cut them. While I fussy cut this out, I will remind you that this is a month-long series that we are doing with Scraptember. There is a different prompt each day. Today was layering, and there are several people playing along. There is a playlist link down below where you can click on it and see all of the videos that have been posted so far for Scraptember. And you're going to get tons of inspiration with a different focus each day, and I think that's really cool that you can find so much inspiration in just one playlist, because a lot of times, like when I set up a playlist, it'll be like for mixed media, and it's all going to be mixed media, but this one's going to give you stuff that changes each day, so you're going to get a lot of variation in what you're going to see. And because there are so many people playing along and doing their own thing, they may be layering up different things. Maybe they're layering their embellishments up instead of their papers behind their photos. You just never know. Maybe it's layers of mixed media. So everybody gets to decide what they're going to do with that prompt. So go and check them out and leave them a little bit of love, is what that was all meant to come down to. Again, just fussy cutting out these flowers. I really prefer them with the white background over on. If I put them down without the white background, they're not as vibrant, and they're harder to move around, and they're not as sturdy. So it's totally fine if you are just putting them down like on white paper and you have a white background or something like that. But for this particular application, I wanted them to have that sturdiness of the cardstock behind them, because some of them, as you saw there, I am popping up onto some foam tape to give some added dimension, and that would not be possible with the clear stickers. And I'm just using my acrylic block to hold the liquid glue in place while it just sets up a bit while I work on a different area. It's almost like having a third hand for me, because it holds it in place, but it still allows you to see what is there while the video is rolling. And my acrylic blocks, I have a couple of them that are a little on the heavier side, so they work well for that. Now I'm just trying to figure out where I want to put that bird. I end up not using that bird, but I do cut out a different bird. The last word that was in that stack of words was smiles, and I decided to put that up at the top. I thought that was really cute because she has a really big smile in the photo, and I thought that was perfect. And then here's where I decide I'm going to go ahead and cut a different bird out, because I didn't really like the placement of it. I'm just checking that the tag will still slide in and out. The placement of the bird looked good, but I knew it would not slide. The tag would not slide out with the bird in that same spot, so that is one of the reasons I decided to change where the bird was out. And luckily I had a bird that was facing the opposite direction, because that is exactly what I needed. When I'm building my clusters of flowers, I'm trying to be sure that each of the colors is represented in some way. So there's a little bit of purple, and in each little cluster up at the top and at the bottom, a little bit of pink, a little bit of orange, and a little bit of yellow. In case you're wondering what made me decide which flowers go where. That little pink one down at the bottom of the title is just a little nod to the title, and I just thought it was cute down there with the bend of the leaves that were coming off of it. It nestles right under that E, so I thought that was perfect. And then I decided to use a little bit of burlap twine or ribbon in the tag, and I'm using some baker's twine to tie it so that it stays put. And I will put a little dab of glue right in the center of the knot of the baker's twine so that it doesn't come untied. I also put a little on my fingers and roll it over the ends so that the baker's twine does not come unraveled. And it is green and white, so it matches just right. And that is pretty much, oh no, it's not it. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my white gel pen and I'm going to do a sketchy line around the outside of the layout. Obviously I can't do next to the photos because the photos go almost all the way to the edge, but I will do a sketchy, actually 2 sketchy lines around the rest of it just to kind of finish it off. And I really like the way that that looks. And I am using an Arteza 0.8 pen. I usually use a 0.6, but for some reason I grabbed the 0.8 this time. Hasn't been used in a while, but it still writes well. I just had to kind of prime it a little bit by rolling it around, and then it worked just fine. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of Dylusions white ink in white linen. That is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to give me a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe as well. And if you have questions or comments, you can leave those down below and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. Thanks so much for watching. I will be back again tomorrow with another video for Scraptember. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.